The sea remembers everything, every lost name, every broken mast, every breath frozen in the dark. I'm Captain Levent, and this is the log of forgotten waters. Today, we open the frost-covered pages of a mystery buried in ice for more than a century. This is the story of a ship that entered the winter storms of the North Atlantic in December 1899 and never came back the same. The Icebound Crew, a crew that froze not only in their final moment but in time itself. Now the truth rises again. The ship was the North Star, a medium-sized supply vessel built for harsh northern seas. 42 sailors boarded her in early December, carrying winter gear, coal, preserved food, and sealed military crates. Their mission was simple: reach Greenland, deliver the cargo, return. The sky was calm when they left the harbor. Families waved goodbye. Lanterns flickered on the docks. But there was something unusual that day. A sharp cold in the air, sharper than any winter wind the locals remembered. Old fishermen muttered the same words. Winter comes early when the sea wants something. During the first 2 days, the North Star moved smoothly through gray waters. The crew worked in silence. The cold increased. Frost appeared on ropes before sunrise. Yet the sky showed no storm. On the third night, the temperature dropped suddenly. Ice formed around the bow in minutes. The sea surface turned pale and fog rose from nowhere. Sailor Thomas wrote in his small notebook, "The sea is breathing. Not like wind, not like waves. It is breathing cold." By morning, visibility was only a few meters. The compass needle shook violently, spinning without direction. The captain ordered the coal furnace to maximum heat, but frost still crawled along the metal like living fingers. The crew had no idea that they had already crossed into a region that sailors in the 17th century called the White Silence, a place where even storms refused to speak, a place where ships were swallowed not by waves, but by stillness. As the fog thickened, something massive appeared on the starboard side. Not an iceberg, not land, more like a wall of frozen mist, a shape that moved slowly, as if following them. The crew began to whisper, "The cold is watching us." No one slept that night. By the 5th day, the North Star was no longer sailing. It was drifting. The engine groaned. The furnace produced little heat. Even the coal seemed frozen. The crew tried to break the ice forming on deck, but every shattered piece grew back within minutes. It was as if the ice wanted to stay. The cook, Morris, reported something strange. He left a boiling pot of water near the furnace. 2 minutes later, it turned solid ice, boiling to frozen in a heartbeat. That was when fear began to control the ship. The captain tried to hold discipline, but the men stopped speaking. They walked slower. Their breath grew weaker, not because of the cold, but because something drained them. At night, heavy footsteps were heard on deck, slow, cracking steps, like someone made of ice walking across the wooden planks. But each time they opened the door, nothing. Only the cold waiting outside. One sailor vanished during his watch. His lantern remained lit on the rail. The flame burned bright, yet the glass around it was covered with frost. Another sailor claimed he saw figures in the fog. Not ghosts, not humans, shapes of frost sliding across the surface of the sea, moving with the ship. The crew called them ice shadows. On the seventh night, the captain found strange patterns on the mainmast, frozen marks shaped like long fingers, 5 of them, each deeper than the last. The men asked him what could make such marks. He answered with silence, but that night he wrote in his log, "This cold is alive, and it wants us." December 17th, 1899. A night that later became a legend among Greenland's northern villages. The fog cleared for the first time in days. The crew hoped the nightmare was ending, but they were wrong, because what they saw was worse. A massive field of floating ice surrounded them. Not natural ice. The blocks were shaped like broken tablets, smooth and identical, as if carved by giant hands. The sea was silent. No wind, no movement. The sky held a pale moon that gave no warmth. The temperature fell below what a human body could survive. Yet the crew remained alive, frozen but breathing slowly. The ice shadows appeared again, climbing the sides of the ship. This time the crew saw them clearly, figures shaped like humans, but hollow inside. Their arms stretched like branches, their faces empty. Each step they took left deep frost behind. The crew tried to barricade the doors, but frost spread across wood like fire. The hinges froze. The locks shattered. One by one, men collapsed where they stood. Not dead, not alive. Their eyes stayed open, but their bodies were frozen stiff, like statues. The captain tried to light flares. The flames froze mid-air and fell as black dust. Something ancient, something older than storms, was claiming them. This was the night the sea stopped breathing. This was the night the North Star became silent forever. 2 years later, in the summer of 1901, an Arctic expedition found the North Star drifting near Greenland. No sails, no sounds. Just a wooden hull covered entirely in thick white frost. When explorers boarded, they found the crew standing in their last positions. Some held ropes, some leaned on the rail, some sat at the table, all of them frozen solid. But they were not dead. Their eyes were still open. Their breath produced the faintest mist, as if they were locked in time. Everything inside the ship was untouched. Plates on tables, boots neatly lined, lanterns still filled with oil. The medical report written months later claimed the bodies were in a state impossible to explain. Not decay, not life, something in between. The ship was towed south, but halfway through the journey, a sudden fog swallowed it. When the fog cleared, the North Star was gone. Some say the crew woke again. Some say the sea reclaimed what belonged to it. Others say the North Star still drifts somewhere in the North Atlantic, carrying its frozen crew forever. There are storms, and there are tragedies, but the story of the Icebound Crew is neither. It is a reminder that the sea is not only water, it is memory, it is hunger, and it is patient. In the winter of 1899, something ancient touched the North Star, something that freezes time itself, something that still waits in the white silence of the North Atlantic. If you ever sail northern waters and the fog rises without a breeze, and the cold suddenly deepens, listen carefully. You may hear footsteps on your deck, slow, cracking steps, searching for warmth. This is Captain Levent. May your bow be clear, and your rudder find its path. If you enjoy these deep-sea mysteries, remember to like and follow. A new voyage awaits in the next chapter of the unknown.